Hi everyone, Ellen Jaffe Jones, the Veg Coach. Are you looking for a way to have a fresh start this fall, especially as we come into Labor Day weekend? Well, I've got some great ideas for you that are going to be really easy to follow and incorporate into your daily life. It's not complicated, but we are going to give you 5 easy things to do to begin your Labor Day fall healthy wellness reset. And the first thing I want to share with you is the first habit to really pick up on is increased hydration. Now, I know that looks like it should be full of caffeine or some other kind of yucky drink that's only going to add calories and stress to your life. But what I want you to do is start off with 16 ounces of water the minute you wake up. And you can start by putting that glass right by your nightstand. So when you wake up, the first thing you're going to do is drink down. You don't have to measure it out, but just it's about 2 glasses full. And that is going to start your whole system getting in action. It's going to flush out everything that's been percolating overnight. And, we need to be concerned about where we get enough fiber, not enough protein in our Western civilization where we eat a standard American sad diet. So that's tip number 1. Get plenty of hydration. I want you to think anywhere from 64 to 100 ounces of water a day. Any way you can get to that, it is all good. So let's talk about some other transformative habits that will help you improve your lifestyle. So tip number 2 is developing a mindful eating, a pattern of mindful eating. So what does that mean? Does it mean you stand around and walk and eat while you're doing something else? It means you sit down at the table and really increase your focus and attention to what it is you are eating. And this also is going to help you manage stress when you are present. That is just so important. I had a relative recently who went on a sailing cruise, and she said, we all just tossed our cell phones in a basket when we got on the boat, and how cool was that? We really had to be present and mindful in a way that I was never used to. So we kind of forget about that when we are so plugged into our gadgets. So that's tip 3, being more mindful in general, but especially when we're eating. And then, of course, regular exercise. That's tip number 3. Now, what is that going to look like? All right, we've just plowed through this Labor Day weekend through Hurricane Idalia, and in Florida, where I live, getting exercise. People always ask, how do you exercise in Florida in the summertime when we've got these incredible storms and clouds? And, I just find a way to do it. I put my clothes right next to my bed in the morning and I get out, walk the dog. And if I don't walk the dog, then I go running. But just anything, even if it's 10 minutes after every meal, research shows that that will actually decrease, if not eliminate, your chances of getting diabetes. Tip number 4 for our Labor Day 2023 health and wellness reset is to manage stress. So how are we going to do that? Especially in some of our more stressful climates. I'm just looking at my neighbor's property here. You can see all the downed branches that happened with our recent Hurricane Idalia. And, these hurricanes are going to keep increasing. It's just something that is part of global warming that is going to affect us all one way or another. So really important to manage your stress either through meditation, just count to 10, that old thing that your mom may have said to you, take 10 deep breaths and count them. Do that on your way to sleep or even when you wake up in the morning, whatever feels good to you. And then tip number 5 in our healthy wellness Labor Day 2023 reset, our wellness reset, is to just improve your sleep. So how are you going to do that? Well, I'm sure by now we all know that we should be off our electronics 3 hours before bedtime, but sometimes that just isn't possible. So again, I suggest just taking a brief walk outside, just focus on the now and the present, and try not to think about anything other than what you are seeing, hopefully in a peaceful environment. Of course, there are all kinds of great apps, but then you got to look at your phone to do that, right? So just reduce the stress in your life as much as possible. Really evaluate what kind of people do you have in your life? Do they serve you well? Is it something, are they people that are important in your life? We have our God-given families, our families that we're born into, and our chosen families. And there really is much we can do to be very mindful in our choices of who we associate with and what it does to our brains. There's so much research now that shows that stress really affects our heartbeat and our health in so many different ways. So just reevaluate how you might want to kind of regroup what works for you. And finally, just do whatever works best for you. You have to figure this out. Nobody else really can prescribe to you what you need to be doing, but just find what really works for you and try and take some time every day to be grateful, express gratitude, even if it's just, inwardly to yourself, not to someone else. But if you can say something nice to somebody else, as Mama used to say, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say it. Although sometimes you do have to speak up. All right, everyone, hope that's helpful. If you have any questions or concerns, please drop your comments down below about how you are looking forward, hopefully, to a wellness and health reboot. Part of this whole Labor Day 2023 marks, at least in the US, we have these holidays as the days grow shorter and the sun isn't up in the sky as much as it usually is. And so all these holidays, Labor Day, Halloween, talk about an unhealthy holiday, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and all of the holidays that we celebrate, the Festival of Lights, because we need lights. We definitely need more light um, in our world to try and make us feel better, because sunlight makes us feel better. When we have a lack of it, the whole part about just feeling depressed, it's a real thing in the winter months. So that's why a lot of these holidays have popped up. But you have to manage them and don't look at them as a license to be gluttonous and stuff your face. And the research is that we gain 10 or 20 pounds around between Thanksgiving and New Year's because we are doing this kind of gluttonous behavior. All right, everyone, gotta run.